my name is Jess, and why go outside when you could spend the day indoors with me and talk all things Big Brother? We are going to cover today episodes 6 through 9, and yes, 6 through 9 because I was supposed to do 6 and 7 last week, but if you can believe it, the person with ADHD got very busy and ran out of time. So we're just gonna have one big ol' episode, just big ol' episode video. 6, 7, 8, 9. Though I will say 8 was unlocked. And there's not a lot to cover with unlocked. So mostly 6, 7, and 9. So that would be the end of week 2 with our veto episode, our live vote and eviction, and obviously unlocked. And then the beginning of week 3 with our HOH and our nominations. Now, before we get into all of that, a couple things to just touch on real quick. One, obviously, big episode, big video. I keep saying episode. Oh my god, video. This is gonna be probably a little bit longer. I don't know. Depends. I will say, I haven't rewatched 6 and 7 since last week when I rewatched them. I was rewatching before I film. So I might forget a little bit. I do have my notes, but obviously I don't want to be like nose to the notebook the entire time. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to remember off the dome. If not, I may be peeking. 2, if you've watched the other ones, you know my audio might have been a little quiet. I've been trying to figure that out. I think I got it figured out. I'm hoping this is better, not as muffled, because it was pretty. I'm listening. I'm like, this is muffled, but I'm hoping it's better. Fingers crossed. Now the bigger thing I wanted to talk about is if you watched my first video covering the premiere. At the end, I kind of touched on a couple different shows I wanted to cover coming up over time with the channel. One of those being the Challenge 41. Now, I said it then, I'll say it again. I don't watch the challenge. Never really seen the challenge besides like half an episode of, was it the Challenge USA when they had like a bunch of Big Brother people on? I tried to watch for that. I was like, I'm good. I was planning on watching 41 and covering 41 mostly because America Lopez is on and I will do anything for her. I love her. But also, Blue, Cedric, D, a lot of people I like are on there. Because I don't watch the challenge regularly, I'm not familiar with how it runs. So it's supposed to premiere tomorrow. Now, imagine my surprise last week when people were talking about the challenge happening, and I'm like, whoa. What happened next week? Episode 0, which is apparently a thing, episode 0, even though I watched it, it was pretty much the premiere. I can't believe there was an episode 0, like, yeah, it's on YouTube, you can watch that. Crazy. That's a crazy thing to not make that your premiere. I'm like, this is setting up all of the teams for the season. That's really important. And introducing all the new people. But that's fine. We move. What I didn't know is that the challenge in general, that's not anywhere unless you have cable, and I don't have cable. Because I saw it on Paramount Plus, and I'm like, oh, perfect. When it drops on Paramount Plus every week, I'll watch it there. Joke's on me. That's not how that works. Apparently, it's not uploaded until the entire season is done. So, I don't know how I'm actually going to be able to watch the challenge to cover it. I could bootleg it, but sorry, I said that loud. MTV, if you're watching this, we support, legal watching, right? But I don't know how I'm going to, because I mean, there's obviously there's bootleg sites everywhere. Everybody knows that. What I'm worried about is, finding it on a site, be like, perfect, I can watch it, cover it. Partway through the season, site's gone. Because it happens. It's happened to me before. Gone onto a site to watch something that I didn't have access to. And I'm like, oh, it's gone. Whole site's vanished. And I honestly don't want to do that. Just starting a season, not being able to finish talking about it if the site's been eradicated, and I don't have cable. I'm not setting up cable. No, I'm not setting up cable for the challenge. That's not happening. So I unfortunately don't think I'm going to be able to cover the challenge 41 as much as I wanted to, purely for Miss America. But it's okay. I will just support her from a distance. Who did she make? Turbo? Her and Turbo. Go Turbo. I don't know if Turbo's a good person. If Turbo sucks, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about that man. But he picked America, so that's fine. That's her teammate, so take her to the end. Get your money, girl. If not, Blue, Cedric, or D, we got this. Even though D is with Johnny Bananas, so that's really... Listen, I don't know. I don't even watch challenge. Even I know Johnny Bananas is a choice. She didn't pick him, though. She just kind of... He picked her. So that's, I'm sorry, girl. It's fine. You'll make it. She's D. She's a bad bitch. She got it. She can hold it down. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. I might pick another show to do in between. I know I want to do obviously Survivor and The Amazing Race when they're coming up, but that's not till the end of... That's not for another 2 months, and that's pretty much like at the end of Big Brother. So I'm not sure if I should just leave it at Big Brother. If you watch Big Brother, this is a lot. This is very tough. If you even watch the feeds this weekend, it's a lot. So I don't know. We'll see if I'll tack on something else to do during Big Brother. Maybe something small. I don't know. Until we get Survivor and The Amazing Race once Big Brother's kind of wrapping up. Obviously, though, by then, Big Brother, once we start getting to the last few people left in the house, there's not really a ton going on. The season kind of evens out. It's one thing to watch a feeds with 17 people on the feeds versus 3 people, 4 people, 5. Though there could be drama then too. You never know. Really depends on who's gonna be there. But we'll see. I'm still thinking about it. We'll figure it out. We got time. I also am, if you're wondering why, also smaller thing to add on to as well, why all of my thumbnails are exactly the same. I know graphic design is not my passion. We're trying. I'm working on that. That may also be maybe when the season's over, I go back and tweak them all. But we'll see, because it's like 40 episodes to do. Oh God. We'll see. We'll work on it. But yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to just touch on real quick. I'll maybe make a poster if I decide to do like another show, or you'll just see it on the feed and you'll be like, "The fuck is this?" Because it might be it could be a K-drama. I don't know. It could be Perfect Match season 3. I've never seen Perfect Match either, but QT's on there, so maybe I'll do that for QT. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, let's just okay. That's all. We're gonna bring it back down, and we're gonna get back to Big Brother, what we're all here for. So, we are going to start off with episode 6. I know, it feels like it's been a month since that episode aired. Shit, since that competition was over a week ago, Vito. That's Stone Age. For Big Brother, that's like dinosaurs roaming the earth. So, we're winding it back. And forgive me as well if some of the graphics I have a lot of graphics. Don't ever do 4 episodes at a time. This is a message to me in the future. Don't do this, because I have so many graphics. Doesn't help that, as you'll know and I know, several powers were at play this week, so that's a lot of different graphics happening. But yeah, let's throw it back. All the way back to last week, where we left off. Oh, I didn't... That's fine. Don't mind that it just says episode 6 and 7. I absolutely was supposed to change that. Don't worry about it. I forgot. But yeah. It's okay. So yeah, we are coming out right off the nomination ceremony. We have Adrian, Keanu, and Kelly on the block. If you can believe it, they're not the most happy about that. When is Keanu ever happy with anything Jimmy does? Name one thing that Keanu's like, yes, Jimmy, thank you so much. Exactly, nothing. Adrian's not happy. He's pretty pissed, pretty upset, pretty emotional. We get a scene of him a little bit after the ceremony where he is in the gym, very emotional, very upset, crying, talking about how much, in the DR as well, about how much this means to him. He's a super fan. He loves Big Brother. He really wants to win to get the money, to help his family, his grandparents, his mom. Kelly, she's Kelly. She's mad even though she volunteers. I don't know. Crazy ass Kelly. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Stop volunteering. I'm begging you. Stop volunteering. She really is trying to. She's mentioned it so many times in the piece. She's really trying to be Tucker 2.0. And it's not working. It's not. I don't know what to tell you. I hope that wasn't love. I just whacked the hell out of my chair. But yeah. Noms aren't stoked that they're nominated. And Jimmy is like, oh my god, that was great. Was it Jimmy? I don't know. Obviously, Keanu's a good choice, because Keanu and Jimmy do not work well. I don't ever see Jimmy and Keanu linking up. Regardless of what happens, it's going to take a lot, I would say. But we do have, of course, their powers are at play as well. So even if, things go down with the veto, Kelly has her power, even though, I guess she is kind of in danger, but she keeps putting herself in this position of danger, so why does she keep doing it? Crazy ass Kelly, who knows? But Adrian is like, okay, at least I'm next, he's next to Keanu and Kelly. If you're gonna look at the target scale, that's definitely leagues above where he is. So that's a plus for Adrian for now. Now, people are kind of a little worried. There's, the veto competition coming up. There's all these powers to play, which are supposed to be secret powers, but aren't so secret because people just keep telling their powers to everybody. Jimmy knows Kelly has a power because he literally helped her get it. Kelly tells Vince. Kelly's talking to Will and Riley, tells them about her power. Why? I don't know. Maniac. Keanu tells Vince about his power as well. And he's like, I think I'm gonna play it. And Vince is like, that's crazy. What? And they said in the house, on the feeds, production told them, we're not saying you can't tell people, but we would really recommend you don't. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna tell everybody about my power. If I ever go on Big Brother and I get a power and I tell people about it, please kick my ass for that. Because, don't tell people about it. Zach has told nobody, which is crazy. Nobody knows that 10K is his power. They just know he won 10 grand. And honestly, half of them forget about that. That's another reason why Zach was on with Kelly, because Kelly kept reminding people about his 10K, and he's like, shut the hell up. Don't tell people I won 10 grand. That's a target on me, and they're all forgetting. And Mickey, at this point, had only told Morgan. Though, Zach was cooking something up, because he had heard Mickey's voice when she, claimed the power. Now, Ashley and Amy, well, are being Ashley and Amy, They are, oh my god. This is what happens when you don't watch the episode. I'm sorry. I'm consulting my notes because I'm having a moment. Forgive me. Just give me 1 second. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, Ashley, that's right. Ashley and Amy were worried that, Keanu and Kelly, they're not weak competitors. People were worried about... Kelly's already proven that she can win comps. Keanu hasn't. But they just, look at him. So they're like, we're in danger, girl. We're in danger. Now, fair. If you know how this week plays out, very, very, very fair concerns if you've watched how this week plays out. And speaking of everybody talking about powers, some people are suspicious about powers. Including my mother, Rachel Riley. Now, this is not her first rodeo. So she's talking to Keanu. Talking more like interrogating. They're kind of just sitting in the stairs room looking at each other like this. She's like, so, did you get a power? And Keanu's like, me? Power? No. No, why would I get a power? What? No. Rachel's like, really? Rachel's like, I'm not buying this. Rachel's like, who does he think I am? Okay, Keanu. Sure, Keanu. Whatever you say. She's like, okay, yeah. She also seems lying to him because I don't know why he's doing this. He does this all week. He insists to everybody that he voted for Amy to stay. Everybody and their mother knows he's lying. Why does he keep lying about this? Beats me. Literally, I don't know. I don't know why he insists. Who's buying it? Nobody. But Keanu is Keanu. He's delusional. He thinks he's selling it like everybody buys it. Nobody suspects that I voted to keep Zay. Everybody knows. Where's the gift of Jason Roy? Like, everybody knows. Like, nobody's buying it. And of all people, you think Rachel Riley is gonna buy what you're selling. You have lost your mind. But sure. Yeah. Okay. Which I didn't know why he's bothering to her. He don't like her. They really do not work. They're not gonna work. I don't see Keanu and Rachel being BFFs for life. No offense. But yeah, it's, it is what it is. He wants to lie, go nuts. And now, obviously, Big Brother, beyond our little strategy talks, we also get, our little filler segments here and there. We get a really, really funny one with Ava working out. I just love Ava Pearl so much. Ava Pearl, me and you, girl. I know it's week 3. Week 2 at this point. Ava Pearl for AFP. Ava Pearl, I'm in these AFP streets for you, girl. That segment for working out is mad funny. When they're like, all the dudes are just lifting weights, and she's like coming in her big ass sunglasses, her like little like dress, and they're like, oh, you work out? She's like, yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. She's like got one weight and she's just like doing this, and it's like, oh girl. Her like punching the weight, the punching bag like this with the boxing gloves. I'm like, oh girl. But she was so funny. This is the Ava Pearl stan account, YouTube channel, whatever. I love Ava Pearl. I will never complain about a segment of her. This show could be all Ava Pearl and I'd be seated every night. But unfortunately it's not the Ava Pearl show. Despite her being in an incredible position in the house, you'd think they would highlight that a little more, but they don't. They're really slacking on that. The editing on these episodes is always questionable sometimes, but they really are under mentioning how well Ava's position. Ava, I don't think is on anybody's. I don't think anybody's like, we have to get rid of Ava next week, or Ava can't be here for jury or anything. Everybody loves Ava. So she's in an incredible position. I wish they would show that more, but it's fine. You also get a couple segments with, Jimmy and Rachel. They're on better terms now, but now they're bickering about her fashion. Jimmy's like, what is that? Okay, Grandma. And Rachel's like, this is vintage. And he's like, okay, Grandma, let's get you back to bed. I think there's a lot of her traders' outfits. This also could just be how Rachel Riley dresses. I don't know. I'm not Brenda Viegas. I don't know what she's wearing every day. I think she looks great, but that's just me. What do I know? I don't think she looks bad, but that's okay, Jimmy. We also get a segment on, Will, talking about his time in the military with everybody, which he also said he was going to keep secret. Guess that didn't last. He just mentioned it to, the bathroom full of people that he served for 22 years. And I'm like, sir, what happened to secrets? it wasn't that good of a secret to keep anyways. I don't think anybody was like, wow, Will's a vet, we gotta get him out. No idea. I don't think they would have given a shit, but that's fine. They also start introducing people. Welcome to the show, Catherine and Lauren. Though they have a very interesting segment talking about their relationship. Like, oh my god, we're like besties. And Lauren's like, oh my god, I love Catherine. We're definitely gonna go far together. And Lauren and Catherine's like, love Lauren. I'm not taking her far at all. I'm not winning over her. Are you kidding me? It's like, oh, okay. Crazy, because they're like, well, Catherine, Lauren might be her closest ally. Lauren has a couple more options than that, but Catherine doesn't have much. So, Catherine, beggars can't be choosers, is all I'm gonna say. Unless you want to ride to the end with Riley, which I would not recommend. But that's just my personal opinion. But it's fine. We get to the veto draw. Now, usually, the veto draw's not much. And you're just like, oh, chip. Jimmy starts a veto draw. Kiana's like, boop, boop. Hey, I have a power. Surprise, the mystery competitor power. He's like, there will not be 2 randomly draw house guests. There will only be 1. Because I'm using my power to bring back a mystery alumni to compete in the competition for me. So if they win, I get the veto. And Jimmy is livid. Jimmy is so mad. Jimmy's like, first of all, if you remember from last episode, after Jimmy went HOH, he's going around the house questioning everybody, did you win the power? Did you win the power? Did you win the power? Obviously, everybody's saying no. Why would they tell him? And of all people, why would Keanu tell that to Jimmy? I don't know why Jimmy thought he would say, yes, Jimmy, I do have the power. I don't know. So when Keanu reveals he does in fact have a power, Jimmy's like, wow, look at that, another lie. Obviously, he's gonna lie to you. Why would he tell you that he has a power? Y'all don't like each other. You're absolutely not working together. I wouldn't tell Jimmy if I was Keanu. And Keanu's like, oh, you want to call me a liar? You're also lying. And you're lying about this. They're just like arguing about lying to each other. Why would you tell each other? You're not working together. You don't like each other. Obviously, you're not going to tell each other everything. You're absolutely not going to reveal you have a power. Hello? But fine. And then Keanu, brilliant mastermind this man is standing up, yelling at Jimmy, and then he's like, now yelling at everybody. Like, I can't wait to pick you all off one by one. If you all want to bunny follow, and everyone's like, excuse me? Especially Ashley's like, pick us off one by one. What did I do? And I'm like, why aren't you saying this? This man is so delusional. He's like, I'm already a target. Whatever. I'm picking you all off one by one. You know, if you think you're the house target, the correct thing to do is to try and reverse that. And try and mend relationships. Build trust with people. Form allies and alliances. Not just tell everybody, screw y'all, I'm gonna pick you all off, I'm gonna comp my way out to the end, you can't stop me. This is what happens when you get people who just don't know Big Brother. Please, can we start casting people who actually have watched at least a season or 2? And not just a compilation on YouTube. I would really appreciate that. Because this is such a bad strategy. This is so not smart. Don't tell everybody in front of the entire house that I'm gonna pick you all off one by one. Is that how the game works? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, obviously everybody leaves one by one. But you can't just, like, threaten the whole house, like, oh yeah, follow him to your graves, da-da-da. What are we doing? I would pay money to see how his DM campaigns go. Please, how does this man do D&D? I just want to know. As someone who watches a lot of like D&D stuff, would love to see him run a campaign because it has to be bonkers. It has to be crazy. With how he plays in his house, he has to be out of his mind. Campaigning, because when he's when you're the DM, you have all of the power. Most of it. The players can kind of do whatever the hell you want. So I think he just thinks he is like in that DM mindset, like I am the mastermind, I control. Sir, that's not how that works. And this is why your alliances are non-existent. And it's like you're literally held there by a thread. But sure. Threaten the house. I'm not a big brother, so what do I know? So, despite the fighting, they do manage to pull a chip. Come on down, Ava Pearl. Ava's like, great. Throw me in this mess with these freaks. all that, and it wasn't even the veto meeting. It was just to pick one chip out of a bag. We can't even get through a veto draw anymore without people being out of their minds. But you know what? That's the joy of the house. Be crazy, be stupid. Live your life. Strategy? We're working on it. Ay. Now, people think, oh, veto draw's over. We're gonna go back to being normal. No. Why end the fighting there? Because here comes Ashley, who, our queen of no self-awareness, is like, hey, what did you mean by picking us all off one by one? I'm like, Ashley, please. As if Keanu, like, just let it be. Just let him sink his own ship. Don't try to hook onto that ship and wrestle it around. Just let it sail out to sea. Bon voyage. He's cooked. Don't. But you know what? Ashley, she gotta say something. Oh my god. But they also are tussling, so that's great. Just stack up the moments for Keanu here. To think he's balling out, and he's not. Oh my god. I don't know. If I were in that house, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend I can't even hear Keanu. Even though he makes it hard because it appears everywhere, but it's fine. Jimmy is talking with Mickey and Will. Jimmy's not too happy that Keanu didn't tell about the power, even though he already put him on the one-way ticket to Block City. Why would Keanu tell it? I just don't understand the logic why he thought Keanu would be like, yes, Jimmy, I do have a power, thank you. Okay. Mind you, Mickey still has not told Jimmy that she has a power. But it's fine. He don't know. Despite the triple threat, it's fine. And now they're really worried about what's gonna happen with this veto, because now Jimmy might have to cook up a renom. Because depending on who the alumni they bring in, that could cause some trouble for him. Plus, Jimmy knows about Kelly's power as well. Kelly, who could play her second veto this week and take herself down as well. So that'd be, if things went crazy, 5 nominees for Jimmy. And Jimmy's like, oh my god, a lot of renoms possible. Imagine if that happened. But thankfully, we move along to our veto competition. Call creeping. Whoop. Everybody is dressed as big ass potted plants. Now, let me tell you something. We all saw Ava on the feeds wearing a full bush jacket and hat, and I'm like, okay. I didn't even question that was from a competition. I just thought Ava brought that in. I'm like, okay, Ava, cool. You got a bush outfit? That's slay. There's a great picture of her just sitting on the bench talking to Rachel. Rachel in the bush outfit. I'm like, sure. Cool. Nope, surprise, it's from the competition. Full, like, ghillie, kind of, I don't want to say ghillie suit just because Riley said ghillie suit, and I don't want to be associated with anything Riley says. Yeah, full, big-ass plant head, plant jacket. They got, like, a thing wrapped around their head that goes all the way down to their ankles, and their feet are wrapped like a pot for a plant. Hell, a potted plant. And they're like, ooh, you five are ready to go. Jimmy, Keanu, Kelly, Adrian, Ava. And they're like, and we have our mystery spot down there. And Vince is like, ooh, who's our mystery player? He's got a little card. They open the card. He's like, okay, everybody welcome. Excuse me. Welcome our mystery competitor. BB20 winner, it's Casey Clark. A couple people. Morgan, really excited. Morgan is stoked. Morgan's like, Casey! Oh my god! Morgan is more excited than anybody to see Casey. Now, when we had found out about Keanu's power, there was a speculation about who it was going to be. Tucker, obviously, because if you watch last season, you know. Jag, they could have brought back fucking, those two most likely. Cameron Harden, I rebuked that. I was like, don't ever say that name ever again around me. Yeah, they've had a few notable compies in the past. Michael Bruner. The way nobody mentioned Casey Clark. Nobody. Because we're like, yeah, Casey's fine. She is a compy. She did win 2 HOHs and 5 vetoes on her season, and that was after she was throwing half of them for the first half of the game because she didn't want to be a threat. But she wasn't the strongest personality. You know, she's a little boring, for the lack of a better. She's very, you know, she's no like Tucker's crazy. Michael was like a big super fan. He had all the strats, all the games locked down. Jag was Jag. Cameron was annoying. But Casey was just, oh, yeah, like, okay, yeah, Casey, okay. There were worse options, so that's fine. I don't mind Casey. She's okay. So the competition is very similar in a sense to they've done this in the past. BB19, Ready, Set, Veto. I have beef with that competition. It gives me hives thinking about how that went down. If you know, you know. But essentially, you know, they're in their little potted plant costumes. They're pretending to hide in the bush. You're the bush. Because we have a celebrity guest staying at Hotel Mystere. So you have to stand here, potted plant, hold on your little buttons. And on the little TV screen, peeking out her window, Felicia from BB25. Oh my god. Nobody knows who nobody reacted to Felicia besides pretty much Rachel and Lauren. Lauren was like, where's Felicia? Like Felicia was gonna jump out of a bush. On the feeds, Kelly's like, who was Felicia? We are losing the ancient texts. What do you mean you don't know who Felicia did not serve this hard for you to not know who Felicia is. That's crazy. Go watch BB25, Kelly. I swear to God, when she gets out of this house, hopefully soon, turn it on. Learn your facts. I swear to God. But Felicia is there in her little TV screen. So they have to be potted plant to the wall, hold their buttons down, and wait for Felicia to say the word creeper. And once she says creeper, they all have to haul ass to go slam down the button at the end of their lane. Last person to hit the button each round, you're out. Now, obviously, during the potted plant costume, as I mentioned, they had a little pot at the bottom. It's wrapped around their ankles, so they can't run. They pretty much have to hop because they can't move their legs. Their legs are essentially binded together. So they're there. And Felicia's killing this, let me tell you. I'm so glad they picked her because she's killing it. honestly, I don't even want to attempt to imitate her. Go watch, if you haven't seen this, first of all, why you watch this? Second of all, go watch it. It's so funny. She's got her robe on. She said, "Who said I got a croissant?" So good. I'm glad they're bringing back more of the alumni to host for the competitions. It's great. As we'll see in the future, more later on in this video, they bring back more alumni. Maybe not as good as Felicia, but it's hard to beat Felicia. It really is. She's killing it. So we go through a few rounds. Kelly is the first one out in the first round once Felicia says creeper. And Kelly is supposed to be a comp beast, according to our self-proclaimed comp beast, trying to crush the comps. When Felicia says creeper, everybody takes off, hopping, diving for that button. Kelly, not hopping, not jumping, no. Shuffle. Loses by a mile. Why are you doing this? Literally scooting like that. Put a pep in your step. You're on the block. What are you doing? Run, hop, do something. Move. What are you doing? I don't know if she just didn't think of hopping. I don't know if she was overly confident because she has her other power veto, but she didn't even move fast. She's just scooting her way down there. And obviously, she don't win. First one out. I watch her do that and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Hop, bitch, hop! Try! She got hopped by Ava. Ooh, she's probably like a foot taller than Ava. Kelly's legs are probably like that, practically the height of Ava. Kelly is mad tall. Ava is like shorter. You could have out-hopped Ava. Probably pretty quickly. Didn't even put a hop. I'm like, okay. We go next round. The reset back of their buttons. They're waiting. Felicia's hilarious as always. Killing it. Crushing it. Bring her back for every competition, honestly. Next round goes. She says, creeper. They start running. Hopping, obviously. Ava doesn't make it. Obviously, she loses a lot closer than Kelly did. But she still loses, which is fine because Ava is not at risk. And honestly, I think having no power is good for Ava because she's in such a good spot. She doesn't need to show any of her cards. So that's fine. Ava doesn't need to win at all. Now we get to this nonsense. Jimmy, Keanu, Casey, Adrian lined up, holding their buttons. They're waiting. They're watching the video. What happened? Jimmy let go. Jimmy tried to adjust his little fingers. Boop! Slipped. False start. You're done. You let go of your buttons, you're out. So he just released. The buttons are very sensitive, so I hear. He moved his hand a little too much, and he false started. Now Jimmy's like, God damn it. Because the 3 people left are Keanu, Casey, and Adrian. So he's like, now I definitely have to renominate somebody. Great. You think, wow, false starts. That's crazy. Happened once. Wouldn't happen twice, would it? They reset. They're waiting for Creeper. Up. Keanu false starts. Casey's like, what the hell are we doing? And I'm also saying, what the hell are we doing? You false started? I get it's a little harder because the buttons are behind you and you kind of have to like push. For hide and go veto. For ready set veto on 19, their buttons were on the floor. So yeah, because you had to be in the runner position. I don't even want to talk about that competition. It makes me have hives. So it's probably a little easier to just hold the button down on the ground versus on a wall behind you where you kind of have to like move finagle your arms. One down, because one's down, one's up. But come on. You false started. And now, this week, everybody was talking about like, oh, wow, Adrian's really good at comms. He's up there with Casey, but the other 2 false started. We don't know how that could have gone. He could have gotten the floor wiped by Jimmy. We don't know. But it's fine. He is actually pretty good at comp, so it's fine. So it's Casey versus Adrian. Adrian's like, what the hell? Why am I against Casey Clark? And I'm like, sir, I don't know. I'm so sorry, man. So they're waiting. At one point, I thought Casey was going to false start. Or nearly do it. Because Felicia does not say creeper, but she says another word. I don't remember what. And Casey lurches forward. Like, almost like fully falls forward. And I'm like, Casey, chill. But she didn't. She stayed onto the buttons. Incredible that she managed to hold on to the buttons for that, doing that, and Jimmy kind of could not. But finally, here comes Felicia, and she says, creeper. They're running. They're hopping. They both dive for it, like photo finish. Vince is like, we gotta check the cameras. And Casey literally just has more of a reach because she dives like a second before Adrian. So congratulations, Casey. Casey gets the veto, aka Keanu gets the veto. And yes, no matter what Keanu says this week, Casey gets the veto. So I put Casey. Even though this week he was like, the next time I win the veto, the next time, you didn't even win it the first time. But okay. Sure. Casey won it for you. Don't ever get that shit twisted. You false started. You couldn't hold the button down. But yes, Casey Clark has won the veto. And I don't even want to say let's go, because I say let's go a lot. Casey says it too much. And I'm mad that we had to hear it again. After BB20. She said it 900 times. But it's fine. She's gone. They go back in. Comp's over. Keanu's got his little veto. Now, Rachel and Jimmy are talking about, obviously, the renom. And Jimmy, for all this, what he's talked, the big game he's talked himself up to be this week, his renom options are Amy and Will. Now, that's not a big move. That's barely even a splash. Amy and Will, the two oldest people in the house, who are not threats. I'm like, okay, we couldn't come up with a better renom. There are so many options. Amy and Will is what they're discussing pretty much. Because they're easy, they're expendable. Well, at least it's Jimmy's game. Amy obviously is important to Rachel's game. She's like, hell no, are you putting up Amy? Now, Mickey and Morgan, triple threat with Jimmy, not happy. Not happy that Jimmy is looking at Will and is not listening to them with the noms. You would think having a final three, you would at least kind of discuss it. He's like, Amy and Will, and Mickey and Morgan are like, how about anybody else? And if you saw, they didn't really show as much of the episode. If you saw it on the feeds, they gave him multiple options. And he was not listening to them, not receptive. And he's like, you guys aren't even giving me any options. So if you can believe it, they're not very happy with Jimmy. At all. They're like, he's not listening to us. What happened to us being a trio alliance? Our final three? You're not even listening to us. You're not even considering us for the renoms. He's just doing whatever the hell he wants to do. What about us? Nope. It's Jimmy's world and they're living in it and they're not stoked. Now, speaking of people who are not stoked with each other, we're back. We're back to Keanu and Rachel. Now, Keanu, this cast loves to put their foot in their mouths. And boy, oh boy, Keanu. In his diary room, he says, I really want to start trying to make amends with Rachel. And how does he decide to do that? A normal way? Asking her about her personal life. Talk to her about her family. How about, other shows she's been on, her past experience. She works in casting now. Ask her about that. And Rachel is talking to him out in the backyard. And she's talking about how she has a hard time being in the house because this is the third time she's played Big Brother. Both past times she played, she was with Brendan. And now obviously he's not with her this time. And she's like, everything here reminds me of him because every time I've been here, he's been with me. So she's opening up. Because at this point, Rachel really was trying with Keanu. Despite everything, she was trying so hard, even though he doesn't trust her, barely likes her, wants her out. Keanu, because Rachel asked him, we always, our seasons, we were together on our season. Did you watch? She asked him, like, oh, did you watch it? She just mentioned it because obviously she probably was like, he doesn't even know who the hell Brendan is. Keanu was like, I saw the clips. I saw the highlights. She's like, oh, like what? Now Keanu, instead of being normal and saying something nice, as Rachel will point out, instead of anything nice about her seasons, he says, remember when Hayden pretty much called you a dumbass and was like, maybe form a sentence without saying the word like, or when Reagan was yelling at you in the backyard and saying how, oh, everybody hates you and and you were only brought back for a twist because you're so annoying. And he's laughing, and Rachel's like, this man cannot read the room. She was ready to kick his ass. She was pissed because he did not bring up a single nice thing about her. Just said, hey, remember when everybody hated you and said you were a dumbass? Rachel's like, great, thank you so much. So she's pissed. She storms off. And Keanu's like, what'd I do? What did you do? Be normal. What do you mean? Say something nice. You can't try to make amends to somebody and just talk about how everybody hated her ass and he's cackling like it's so funny. Yeah, it's like, it's entertaining, but like, you have to understand, like, from her perspective, like, and like, as a viewer, okay, yeah, it's good drama. But as like, when you're living in that, it's not like, oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, was it a long time ago? Yes. But she's like, that, she doesn't nerve. She's like, that was, 15 years ago. She doesn't want to be defined by who she was back then. She's like, say, hello, I've changed so much from 15 years ago when I was in my, like, mid-early 20s to now when I'm a 40-year-old mother, married. She's like, how about my husband? Say something about our relationship that started on this show and is still going on all this time? She's like, anything? So she's like, he's doing it on purpose. Because that's what I would assume. Because what dumbass would say that thinking it was a good thing? Keanu. So she's arguing with him like, great, you want to play ball, play ball. And he's like, I don't understand. And she's like, okay, it's on. And Keanu's like, I was trying to be nice, but okay. Once again, they're at odds. And Rachel's, I think, finally done with it. Finally over it, as she should have been a long time ago. So she's pissed. And she's tired of it. She's like, I can't with this man anymore. She's tried saving him in the past. She's just like, ship sailed. We're done. We move on to the veto meeting. Obviously, Keanu takes himself down. Jimmy puts Amy up. Oh, veto adjourned. Wrong. Nope. Forgot to click the button. Because here comes Kelly. Hey guys, it's not over yet. I'm activating my mystery veto power. Doo-doo-doo. What does that mean? I get to play in a little solo competition to do my own veto and win. Maybe win a veto. I can't speak. She's like, we're gonna do that in a little bit, and you guys all get to watch. Yippee! Now Mickey and Will, once they wrap up this veto meeting number 1 of the night, are like, uh-oh. That's bad. Will's like, that's bad news bears for me. If Kelly comes down, I'm cooked. And he's not the most excited about that, and neither is Mickey, because, again, as I mentioned before, Mickey and Morgan were trying to pitch other options for renoms besides Amy and Will, and Jimmy is not receptive at all. Just own world. Doesn't care what anybody else has to say. It's his HOH and that's what he wants to do. But Keanu doesn't care what Jimmy... The fact that he even goes up to Jimmy and pitches this, even though he knows Jimmy does not give a shit, is wild. He still goes to Jimmy and says, hey, how about we put up Rachel if Kelly comes out? He's like, I think Rachel has power number 3. What is he basing this off of? Literally nothing. He just doesn't like Rachel. And Jimmy and Keanu also don't get along, so I don't know why he thinks Jimmy would be like, Keanu, you're so right. Link up. Me and you. That's not gonna happen. There's not 1 ounce of foundation of trust for this to build on. It's not like they had some kind of like bond. And he's like, maybe Rachel, and Jimmy's like, you know what? Maybe Keanu. We'll think about it. Putting up Rachel. Though he hasn't even listened to Mickey and Morgan, so who knows if he would listen to them for that. But you know, we're building the blocks here. At least it's something in Keanu's head. There's nothing happening in Jimmy's. Jimmy's like, yeah, okay, Keanu, we'll put up Rachel. Sure. No. I wonder how that would have gone if they actually had some kind of connection. If they weren't constantly fighting. They literally were fighting like 2 days ago. 2 days before this comp. This is Monday, and the comp was Saturday. So I don't know how, if they had any kind of like even like an ounce of trust between them, if maybe Jimmy would have considered it. I really don't think so, because Jimmy, as big of a game he was talking up preseason and in the house, he is playing, for lack of better words, quite scared. He put up Keanu and Kelly as like his big targets. There weren't really, I mean, they're kind of like the house targets. People don't really like them. They're kind of annoying everybody. I guess they're kind of comp threats. But he hasn't put up like a threat. Like, there's options here. Like, if you're look at this. Like, Zach. Nobody is looking at Zach right now. Like, Zach would have been a really reasonable renom option. Even if you just go off the fact that he won $10,000 alone and he seems pretty athletic and you could even throw in his crush on Lauren. And don't even get me started on the trio, the Zach crush on Lauren, the Morgan crush on Zach. Ashley might even have kind of a crush on Zach. So that is a big target right there. He's already got people bonded to him. And he got 10 grand. Send that ass out the door. Bon voyage. Go make TikToks with Matt Hardiman. You'll fit right in. Or like, Vince. His he was a big one HOH. It was kind of a mess. Put him up. Riley. Who the hell's gonna get mad that Riley's up? What, Zach maybe? Vince? Who cares? Maybe Keanu? Nobody's gonna risk their life for Riley. Like, I mean, if he was crazy, he could have even put up Rachel. Although I know people are really scared to put up Rachel this early because she's Rachel fucking Riley. I also would be, that's a swing you don't want to miss. Even if you just put up like Ashley. Everybody knows, if you watch the feeds, Ashley is the queen of no self-awareness. Her foot is permanently in her mouth. She will just constantly says the wrong thing to everybody. No awareness whatsoever. If you watch the bathroom debacle, the cleaning debacle between her and Rachel on the feeds, you know. Nobody would be, besides like Amy and Rachel, nobody really fighting for their lives for Ashley. And even then, Amy's already on the block. So that's one of her like warriors, not like there's not many people campaigning for her. I like blanked on words for a minute there. Like, there's so many options. Will and Amy were just like very weak. He could have even put up Lauren. He could have put up Catherine. They weren't like really connected to him. He doesn't want to put up Mickey and Morgan. Those are his like allies, even though they're pissed at him. Ava, he's really good with. But like, yeah, anybody else would have been like a solid option. Like Ashley, like any of those people would have been fine. Will and Amy are not threats. Even like everybody else was like, what? No. But that's what he wants to do. But we get Kelly finally going to go do her comp. It's a la Caitlin, BB20, a puzzle. A puzzle she has about 2 minutes to put together. Now, you remember Big Brother 20? Caitlin's puzzle was a puzzle of herself, 8-piece puzzle she had to kind of stack together. Famously, horrifically failed and was sent home live because it was a power she had earned. She had won. Was it the voted one? I can't remember. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since BB20. And she was evicted. She activated her power, so she got to play her in the comp to save herself. Easy ass thing. She flopped miserably. It was hilarious. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. This is a little easier. Caitlin's puzzle was a puzzle of herself. Kelly's puzzle, big ol' circle. And she has 2 little spikes to put it on. And 2 minutes to do it. Now, what people noticed in this comp, as well as coming down the line, the BB Blockbuster comp later this week, they have been putting the puzzle pieces, like they had the puzzle pieces sitting over here, the comp board, so you move the puzzle pieces to the board. They've been putting them in order. So the bottom piece, the piece that goes on first for Kelly's, is on top. And then like the next piece, why? Mix them up! What? Oh, these are really like, it's like a 7-piece puzzle. They had everybody watch her she did it in like a minute and a half. It's a little puzzle. Obviously she did it. It was really easy. Kelly wins the veto. Like, I don't even need to discuss it more. It was a simple puzzle. It was pretty much in order. They try to make it seem suspenseful. It was not. Kelly is like, oh, what's this piece? Oh, what's up at this piece? Oh, I don't know. And Kelly's trying to start her own Kelly chant in a room by herself. Everybody's watching it on the couch on the TV. And she's like in the room by herself, like, they did it up in the gym upstairs where the old half-mile room was. And she's like, Kelly. Nobody's doing that. Nobody on the couch does the Kelly chant. But she wins it because it's a simple puzzle. And she has to stand to put it on. Yeah. So she has a veto. And they have to run it back. Run it all back. Veto meeting number 2. If you can believe it, Kelly, very excited. Yay, I saved myself. You put yourself up there. But okay. And Jimmy, again, not happy because all of his noms are coming down. So he puts up Will. Nobody's happy. Nobody is happy. Mickey's pissed. Will's pissed. Rachel's pissed. But nobody is like, yay, Jimmy. Good idea. No. Look at this. Those are your final. This is such a nothing week. This is like, when they say like a waste of an HOH, this is truly it. Adrian, Amy, Will. What do you gain from sending one of these people home? Adrian, I guess, because they are very concerned about him being a comp threat. He didn't really win anything. And yes, he was... I'm trying to focus this, excuse me. He did get second place in the... Hello? Oh my god. Please? I'm like leaning in. It'll focus eventually. Okay. They're talking about like Adrian's such a comp threat. Yeah, he did well, obviously, the night 1 comp. How did he do in the HOH comp? I don't even remember. What the fuck was the HOH? I'm blanking on what HOH was. Oh, the dark one. You don't even know how well he did. He couldn't find the pieces. So he was putting a boulder in. He wasn't that good. And then he got second place in the veto. But that's also after Jimmy and Keanu false started because they couldn't hold buttons down. So he's probably like okay at comps. And then Amy and Will, nobody believed on earth that they would win. If you watch the feeds, not one person even considered. Everybody was like, okay, Adrian's probably going to take. Everyone's like, Agent's having to get himself down. Like, as we move into episode 7, our live vote eviction, Jimmy decides to now change his target to Adrian. I think to save face, because you're going to be like, my target is Will. Why? I like, that's so nothing. That's such like a nothing burger week. So he's like, let's target Adrian instead. Now, Kelly wants Adrian safe. She wants Adrian to be here because that's kind of like the only person that can tolerate her, pretty much. Kelly and Adrian are pretty, like, they're friends, they're close. I wouldn't say they're like BFFs for life, final two, locked in, no. Will's not happy. Will said it's a bitch ass move, and I agree. Because you want to talk, it's like, nothing drives me more nuts when people talk all this game. Talking so much, like, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be the best, da da da, I'm not gonna be afraid, and then they play so scared. I get it's week 2, and you're afraid of making big moves. You've already nominated 5 people. At this point, you just go big. Like, what's gonna happen? If you put 3 strong targets on there, even like, if you put Keanu, Kelly, and Zach. Let's just throw that on there. Keanu, same thing plays out. Keanu comes down, Kelly comes down. Fucking put up Vince. Put up Riley. Because Jimmy's not really working with the guys. He's working more on the girls' side. So he can put up Riley, Vince, Zach. Those are 3 pretty solid people to get out. Nobody's really looking at Riley. Vince was last week's HOH, that was a disaster. Zach has the 10K, and he's a pretty athletic. And Vince, honestly, going back to Vince is the king of mirrors. Everybody thinks he's good. Vince has like 9 final 2s. These are pretty solid people you can get out. He could have put up anybody. And it would have been, like, even when one of them comes down from the blockbuster, you still would have gotten a solid target out. Where you could look back and be like, okay, Jimmy had a pretty good week. He got out this person. He got out Zach. That would have been a really good, like, wow, he got out Zach. That's a good... These aren't really that, like, impressive, like, to get out. Like, put that on your resume. Remember, guys, your final 2 speech, you can be like, week 2, guys, remember I got Will out? I'd be like, okay, cool, dude, what? Yeah, you got the 50-year-old guy out? Great move. Like, it's so nothing. It's nothing. Now, poor Adrian. Started off feeling pretty good this week with Keanu and Kelly next to him. Now next to Amy and Will, he's like, that's not great, because now I look like a big old target. And Zach is trying to help him. Zach does not want Adrian to go. You know, the house is pretty much shaken up. As we get a diary room from Lauren later on, who kind of pushes in the middle, at least from Lauren's POV. This isn't exactly how the house is laid out, but I don't know. It's, the guys are kind of sticking together, the girls are kind of sticking together, but it's so complex. It's so hard because there's no, like, real structure. Trying to describe the structure of this house is just ridiculous, because there is none. Like, by this point, at least some kind of, like, solid alliance would have formed, and there is the bond. It's just still together at this point, kind of. But there's, like, really no solid structure. Neither Jimmy nor Vince have set up themselves to have an alliance. In fact, by playing so scared this week, Jimmy has not only not improved his position with alliances, has in fact hurt his alliances by pissing off Mickey and Morgan and pissing off Will. He has lost credit with the people he's working with. So he has not done any favors. And there's, like, knows he has not set himself up. I said the same thing about Vince last week. Did not set himself up. Oh my god, I can't speak. He has not set himself up at all for the weeks coming up. No solid alliances, no, like, make a alliance. I know they have, like, the heavy hitters, but that's so old news. That was barely an alliance to begin with. Riley didn't even go to the original meeting. So the fact that both him and Vince just did not set anything up is just ridiculous. Playing so scared gets you nowhere. You just look like a weak player who is too afraid to make a move. Your allies are pissed. They're like, you're not reliable. If you win, you're probably gonna play scared like you did last time. So we can't even bank on you to make a move and keep us safe and take out a big target that, like, is against us. You're just gonna put up the old, like, schmucko in the middle. Like, set up something, anything. Hell, even if you don't think it's gonna last more than 2 weeks, at least just lay the groundwork for something. Put the foundation down. You don't have to build the whole house right now. But get the beams in. Put the joists. Subfloor. Concrete. Hell, put the concrete. Start with something. Get the base. Start a structure and try to stick with it. Try to get just anything. I'm like grasping at straws for these people. I'm just like begging them. I'm like reaching to the screen and I'm like, please do something. Make solid alliances. Trust people. Structure. This is chaos. Oh my god. And, like, if you've seen the alliance charts, it's ridiculous. There's nothing solid. It's just all a mishmash. Vince has 95 final twos. Chaos. It's chaos. And so, obviously, no structure, no nothing. Jimmy's pissed everybody off. Mickey and Morgan are not happy at all. Like, pissed. They're like, I can't believe him. He didn't listen to us, not at all. So not only do you have, like, pretty much no solid allies, you've now pissed off what you do have. And they're already, like, side-eyeing him now. Like, I can't believe he would do that. We can't work that much long-term with him. So now they're looking at you for the future. You haven't set yourself up in the slightest. And now Will and Amy and Rachel Riley are sitting together talking. You know, the three oldest house guests. And they're like, this is stupid. They're like, this is some dumb shit. Why would he put us up? Look at the people in his house. They're like, are we threats? I mean, Rachel's a threat. She's Rachel Riley. But, like, Amy and Will, they're like, are you kidding me? How are we threats over, like, Zach? I'm gonna keep saying Zach's name because he's sitting on 10 grand. They don't know he has the power, but they know he has $10,000. That's enough to put anybody on the block. You won money. It's week 2. We were going off of very little. Get the hell out. But nothing. They're, like, ridiculous. This is so stupid. What the hell? And Amy, because she's Amy, is like, this is because of Rachel. Everybody sees me working with Rachel, and now I have to go, I'm on the block. Kinda. But not, like, kinda, but not really, because nobody's really close with Amy besides Ashley and Rachel. Like, working game-wise. She's not really, like, a solid number. Well, I mean, this is the thing. She could have been a number for Jimmy. But he's like, okay, old lady, get out of here. Ridiculous. I don't even know what to do anymore. And we get a scene as well with Catherine and Lauren talking. And they're like, listen, we don't want Adrian to go. I'm pretty good with Adrian. We need Amy gone. Because as Amy did say, you know, people are looking at her as a number for Rachel. She seems to think that's the only reason she's on the block. It's not. But that is a pretty strong selling point that she's a number for Rachel Riley. I guess. But people are also acting like Rachel Riley has 85 alliances and people on her side. Rachel does not have that. She does not have that at all. So I know she's Rachel Riley, but come on. take a critical look at the house structure. Like who do you actually think is gonna ride or die for Rachel? Amy, and that's like it. So like one person. Yeah. I don't know. They're just like, these knobs are just so stupid. I just don't even like trying to find something to say. But they're just so dumb. And also, we get, like I said before, the diary room from Lauren, or of her view in the house, which is the women and Jimmy versus the men and Kelly. And her and Catherine are leaning more towards the men's side because they think the girls' side, we're on the bottom. Honestly, that might be true for Catherine. Because people don't really like Catherine. People are, in fact, bonding over not liking Catherine. Like, Mickey and Ava have a whole moment in, like, the bunk beds where they're like, can I tell you something? And she's like, can I tell you, are you going to say what I'm going to say? And they're like, I like Lauren. But I can't stand Catherine. And Ava's like, bitch, me too. And Mickey are like, okay. Like, people are bonding over not liking Catherine. So Catherine, I get that. Because she's not really doing much. Sorry to Catherine. Lauren is, I think, in a better spot than her. She has a lot more social connections to the people in the house. So I think Lauren is probably more so in the middle than Catherine. Catherine is probably definitely more towards the guys. So I think they're probably the more tolerant ones of her. As long as Riley is there. I don't want to get into Riley and Catherine. Hives. But yeah. Catherine and Lauren are definitely leaning towards keeping Adrian and getting Amy out. Will, I don't know how I don't think they're really like, we need to get Will out. But, we'll see. Oh. I moved my notebook. I'm so sorry if that was in the camera. Again, looking at my notes. My bad. So, Kelly and Vince. Excuse me, I'm just... Every time I have to talk about Kelly, I feel like I need to be like, oh boy. Kelly. Kelly is always worried about Rachel. And she thinks, obviously Amy, number for Rachel. Everybody's gonna say that Amy is a number for Rachel. Da-da-da-da-da. And she doesn't want Adrian to leave as well. Obviously, she's kind of friends with Adrian. So she obviously leaning more towards Amy and Will. I think, honestly, most people want Will to stay. I don't think at any point in this week was Will at risk of going home. Like, I don't think anybody was really worried that he was gonna go home. I wasn't. Unless shit went really wrong. But no. Like, yeah, Mickey and Morgan are talking with Ava. They're like, Will's gonna stay. And they're like, Will's staying. They're a little more split beyond that. I guess Mickey and Morgan kind of want Adrian to go. And Ava's like, we kind of want Adrian. But, it's a mixed bag. This week, honestly, was really a toss-up. Amy, Adrian, really depending on how the blockbuster goes. A lot of people wanted Adrian. I don't even know how to describe it as, because I'm trying. It's been a hot minute since I watched this, and in Big Brother terms, a week is like 9 years. But yeah, it was really a mixed bag with Amy and Adrian, depending on who came down. Like if Adrian came down, Amy was out. If Amy came down, Adrian's gone. If Will came down, probably more Adrian. But that really depends on who you're asking, what time of the week it was, what day. And they're campaigning, obviously. Kind of. Not really. Rachel was more so doing the campaigning for Amy. Amy wasn't really campaigning much. Adrian wasn't campaigning for a hot minute. Too long. We were all like, Adrian, please get up and pitch yourself. I'm begging you. And even when he's pitching stuff, people are like, I'm really exactly, like, do I have your vote? And they're like, yeah, I think you're gonna win the blockbuster, which is not an answer that that would make you happy. I would be like, you're banking on me winning. What if I don't win? Nobody would give that much of an answer for that. And Will was solid. Nobody was really like, oh my god, Will, you're in danger. Will was fine. He didn't really pitch himself in anyways. Very weak for campaigning and pitching. Not much happening. Rachel Riley put in more work, I think, than most people to keep Amy. But unfortunately, the concern of Amy being a number for Rachel was not helped by Rachel Riley doing all of the pitching for Amy. Like, she tried with Mickey, Zach. I mean, obviously Jimmy's can't vote. And it wasn't the risk of a tie. And Jimmy is not helping things. Jimmy's just like, I don't really care who goes. Yeah, because you're weak as a wash at this point. You haven't done anything significant with these nominees. So Jimmy's like, I don't care. You should care a little bit who goes on your HOH. I get, like, it's out of your hands once the nominations are locked in. Unless there's a tiebreaker, obviously. But you should care a little bit about who goes home. Like, come on. But it's fine. It's live vote and eviction night. So, we finally get to our blockbuster comp. And they've been kind of following, at least at this point so far, they've been following the format of last year's, like, AI arenas. The first BB blockbuster was similar to the AI arena from last year for week 1. And this year's BB Blockbuster Week 2 was similar as well to the Week 2 AI Arena, where it was a puzzle on the floor. This was in BB 26 was when Tucker won and was like, I really like puzzles. And I'm like, okay, this is puzzle time for Amy, Will, and Adrian. Now, like I mentioned with Kelly's, like, once again, the puzzle pieces are stacked in order in which they go on the thing. Why? What the hell are we doing? So, it was a fingerprint puzzle. So, it's in a square because you have the little gray edges, the pieces that have the gray edges that go around. It's a 12-piece puzzle. And the middle part is the fingerprint, which is most of the pieces. 8 pieces there, 4 pieces around, 4 or 5 pieces around, I believe it was a little 5th piece. Why were the gray pieces all on top and the fingerprints are all below that? Mix it up. Now, they did great editing for this, where they actually had a top-down view of all 3 to put them on the screen at once. Perfect. Great. Because trying to look like, well, they're cutting the cameras and we're just getting, like, kind of like the flat view like this is not helpful. I can't see what they're doing. The top-down view was great. Will and Amy, 1 piece at a time. Adrian, correct, picks up a stack, throws that shit to his puzzle, and starts assembling it there. Very good idea. You need as much time as you can get in this to outbeat the other. I mean, obviously Adrian has the advantage. He's 23 and Amy and Will are 43 and 50 respectively. So you already had that kind of advantage on them. But thinking to actually grab as many pieces as you can at once, smart. Save you time of going back and forth. Not that it was a far distance, but every second counts when you're in a race. And it was actually closer than I thought it was going to be with how quick Adrian was moving. He almost screwed it all up, and I was like, oh my god, please don't. Because he had almost the entire puzzle done. He's trying to put it in the last piece. It's not fitting because he has the 2 last pieces of the puzzle are the 2 curved edges at the top of the fingerprint like this. 1 piece is longer, 1 piece is shorter. He has them flipped, so it's not working. And I'm like, dear God, I'm screaming. I'm like, Adrian, fix it. And I just see Will and Amy putting pieces. I'm like, oh my God. Is he going to blow it because he didn't adjust 1 piece? But he fixes. He finally catches on. He has the wrong piece and he swaps them. Runs for the button. Congratulations, Adrian. BB Blockbuster. He did it. So then, they bring everybody back into the house to like, congratulations, guys. Guys, Adrian won. Now, poor Julie, she tries this every week. She did this last year, she's gonna do it this year. Guys, you have a few minutes to strategize. Now that you know who the final noms are. Nobody strategizes. Almost nobody does. This time, once they know those nominees are Amy versus Will, it's like, I think they already knew. It was over. The last time we saw was like, Rachel was still pitching, like, come on, we gotta save Amy. At this point, it's like Amy's funeral. Like, everybody's like emotional, like Rachel's about to cry, Ashley's about to cry, like Amy's hugging everybody goodbye. I'm like, they didn't even vote yet. You're not even in the chairs for the eviction. But they're like, bon voyage. I think Amy knows she was cooked. Yeah. So it's no strategy. Just goodbyes. So they give their eviction speeches, and Amy's is kind of like the same as similar last week, where she's like, oh, Will's great. Well, obviously last week she was talking about Zay, but she's like, oh, Will's great. He's so great. I love Will. She's emotional. I think she knows her time is coming to an end. She's like, I've been so grateful to be here. Love y'all. Da, da, da. Very nice. Will, he's like, hey, Julie. Shouts out his family, his wife. We'll get back to that in a second. But he says, pretty much, if you want to keep me, keep me. If you don't, don't. Like, standard eviction speech, like, if I'm good for your game, keep me. Sure. Now, if you know anything about Will, whenever he talks about his wife, he always shouts out, he says, shout out my chocolate drop. And now, I don't know why Julie says this. Will sits down and Julie goes, Will, does that make me your lemon drop? Julie, what the hell? At least they were dying. They were losing it in that house, laughing their asses off. It was pretty funny. Julie doesn't have to make jokes like that. I was like, wow, Julie. Chenbot broke free for a day, and she got to actually make a joke. Good for her. It was pretty good. So I'm like, you know what? You wait. Shout out AT's lemon drop. We're having a lemon drop moment, apparently. Woo! But yeah. So they go to vote. I don't need to go over the votes because it was unanimous. It was unanimous. Bon voyage, Amy. Everybody's very emotional. People are crying. Ava's crying. Rachel's choking up. Amy's crying. Not Amy. Oh, yeah. Ashley, Amy might have been crying. Some of them were crying before Ashley, they even went to vote. Everybody voted out Amy. Even Rachel and Ashley, I think they knew, like, she's done. Let's just vote with the house. We already know. No pity votes. Just stick with the house vote and just get a move on. They are so emotional taking so long that Julie's like, y'all need to let her leave. Julie's like, Amy, you need to get out. Get out. Because they are on a schedule. It's live. Get out of the house. And Amy grabs her stuff and leaves. On the way out, though, while she's walking out the door, she's yelling over her shoulder, get Jimmy out. Jimmy the snake. Get Jimmy out. Jimmy the snake. Get him out. And that door closes behind her, and she goes out to do her little interview with Julie. Now, she's going to do this in her post-eviction interviews as well, but Amy is continuing to blame Rachel for her eviction, because Julie asks her, how do you think your connection, your relationship with Rachel affected your game? Now, Amy's like, I don't think I really got a chance to play the game because I was so tied to Rachel. Everybody was like, oh, she's number Rachel, get her out. Well, you were friends with Rachel, but that your whole game wasn't tied to her. If you had gone out and made more connections, you pretty much just sat around and talked with Ashley and Rachel the whole time. You need to, like, go put in some work. Rachel Riley is not holding you back. Put in some work. Then don't if you put in work to not seem like a target, like locked in with somebody, it's possible. But it's Rachel. Me and Rachel, we're locked together, so I'm a target. Sure, Amy. Okay. They don't really ask for much. They're really cutting it short. At least they show her the goodbye. They show her some of the goodbye messages. At least last week we didn't get for Zay's we didn't get it. I almost said for Jay. For Isaiah's we didn't get shit. They posted them later on. They did post the rest of hers as well. We get a couple of hers. We get Ashley's. We get Rachel's. Vince and Kat. I think this is why they wanted to show it, because they had a fucking goodbye message from the mastermind, because she's the accomplice. And he's like, oh, Amy, my accomplice. If only you were as good at Big Brother as you were at being able to push buttons in the house for me. I'm like, that's pretty funny. When he came up on the screen, I was like, hello? Seeing the mastermind in the diary room was very jarring. I was like, oh, hello? But yeah, they threw in a little goodbye message for the mastermind, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah, there's not much, they say to Amy. They're like, good luck, have fun. Though I will say, the goodbye messages, they were all, pretty nice. Kat did say in her goodbye messages that she felt that she was at the bottom of the 9-person women's side. And Amy's like, what? I'm also like, huh? Which is kind of true, kind of not. If you worked on, building connection with them, but she's not doing anything, so that's kind of Kat's fault, but it's fine. And that's pretty much the end of the episode, because the rest of it they spend bringing on Derek and Taylor to talk about Unlocked that happened the next night, which we didn't really. I'm fine with it because Taylor Hale I love Taylor Hale beyond belief. I just don't like Derek. I'm sorry if you're here and you're a Derek fan. I'm sorry. I'm not. He's whatever. He's like okay, I guess, but after 16, the amount his shit affected the game for years and years, I can't. I can't with him. Seeing him, I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, that is a wrap up of week 2. And then I don't really have much to say about BB Unlocked itself. It was, I will say, better than I expected. Let me clear off all of that before we get into week 3. Better than I expected. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been like those awful, clip show 2.0s. And I hate to, we don't need more clip show. We don't. We really don't. But it was interesting. They had some moments. It was a lot of, little segments and bits, like, was it a big move or was it shit? I don't remember the actual category name. I didn't write it down. I'm gonna put my notes. But they're having a special guest every week when they do this. There's only gonna be, I think, 5 episodes they said for the entire season, because they're doing it every other week. They're not doing it every single week, which I think is fine. I don't think we need this every week. I don't think they would have enough content if they did this every week. I think they'd run out of shit really fast. The guest this week for BB Unlocked was actor, comedian, SNL guy Bobby Moynihan. He has been on the show actually before, but they posted clues for him this week, which I don't think they really needed. We don't need clues for the special guest, especially because one of the clues was when he was on the show. He was on for Big Brother 19. He hosted the competition. The picture they posted was like a cropped thing of a pot and pan. It was a picture of him holding the pan from BB19. I'm like, you couldn't have made it a little less obvious? Okay. Sure. Let's pick a different picture. Yeah, Bobby Moynihan, who is a big fan of the show. So at least they're getting people who are fans. And now let me tell you something. When I initially watched the episode, I actually missed the beginning, thanks to TV trouble here. So I didn't catch the first few minutes. Honestly, 15 minutes. I had to rewatch it. They're talking about, oh, what's the unlock gonna be? Da-da-da. And me and Derek, and my ancient beef with Derek is talking about, oh, this show's for everybody, whether or not you're, just a casual fan who only watches the episodes, or if you watch the feeds like us, pointing to him and Taylor. Derek, I know you're not watching the feeds. Derek notoriously does not watch the feeds and is loud and wrong about a lot of things. So I'm like, okay, Derek, sure, like us. Right. Okay, Derek. Okay. But yeah, the episode's fine. We get, some segments on, like, with clips of the show. We get a BB Fantasy Draft with Derek, Taylor, and Chelsea from last season, our winner of BB 26. They drafted them, according to Taylor Hale, offline, before the season started, and then they filmed this between the premiere and the first eviction. So they didn't know who went home yet. But when they made these picks, she said, we did not see this before the show. Which makes sense, because, oh boy. And they got to name their fantasy teams. Chelsea, I'll just go through the teams. I wrote them down, so I don't, because that's, like, kind of, like, the main thing. That was, like, the bigger thing of the show. But yeah, Chelsea's team was the Diamonds. She has Morgan, Vince, Isaiah, Lauren, and Adrian. Which is an okay team. It's not terrible. She has Morgan's pretty solid. Vince is an okay. Obviously, Isaiah's already gone. Lauren, Adrian, Taylor Hale has the Hale Razors. Love. Her team is Ashley. Definitely could tell this is picked preseason. Zach, Catherine, Ava, and Will. I think that's a pretty good team. Like, Zach is pretty solid. Ava's very solid in the house. Will could be a perpetual pawn, but I don't think he's really super much in danger of going home. Catherine is kind of in an iffy spot. Ashley is Ashley. And then we get Derek. They were asked to come up with creative team names for their draft teams. His is Head of Households. Come on. Put in some effort, man. Something. Anything. Like, I'm begging you, dude. His team's not even good either. He's got Jimmy, Keanu, Mickey, Riley, and Kelly. Mickey is his strongest player. Mickey's great. Jimmy is like the second strongest, and that's concerning. I guess you could technically say Riley is the second best, because he does absolutely nothing. Nobody gives a shit. Keanu and Kelly are halfway down the river. Jimmy is sinking down that river as well. Wash. Nobody picked Amy. Nobody picked Rachel. I don't know if maybe because it was done preseason, they didn't know about Rachel, if she was an option. They gave him to the intern. The intern team. It's just Amy and Rachel. Like, Amy's gone, so they just have Rachel. But I'm like, come on. Nobody was like, can I pick the mystery house guest? I don't know if they knew if it was Rachel beforehand or not. I don't know if the hosts get that access. But I'm like, come on. Interesting teams. I wonder, they'll probably show, like, more updates on the draft as it goes on for the season. They did bring out Amy, actually, as well for an interview, which I was surprised about. I'm like, oh, they did say they were going to do interviews. I didn't realize they meant literally with the house guest that was evicted. They did not bring Isaiah. They said, who cares? Just Amy. So I assume every other house guest that gets evicted will get a time to shine. I wonder if any of these will line up with a double eviction. Because with the amount of house guests we have, they're going to have to do, like, I think 2 doubles. They probably have to do multiple double evictions. So I wonder if it'll line up at all with a double and they'll be able to interview both people that went out that week. That could be interesting. But I would assume... I actually don't know if they would do the house guest interviews once the jury starts. They might not want to do that because they showed Amy some clips during her interview of her. Well, mostly it was of her. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a pre-jury only thing. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Amy, they just go like, oh, how are you feeling? Oh, she's bummed. Yeah. The only thing they did show that was interesting is that she didn't keep her accomplice thing a secret. She actually told Amy and Ashley, Amy and Ashley, Rachel and Ashley, but they didn't tell anybody. Which Rachel and Ashley, big news. Can't believe she didn't tell nobody. But this must have been before feeds shot. We didn't get feeds for the first week of the show, so it must have been beforehand. They were like, we don't show that in the episode. That's fine. But she actually did tell people, and they didn't get out. Good for her. Good for her. So yeah, not much with her interview. It wasn't very long. They both were just showing her clips, like, oh, remember when all the times you cried in the house? I'd have been like, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Really cool. Really cool. Thanks, guys. So fab. They have a couple segments. They have like a rant room section where they let the house go in the diary room and rant about whatever. Which, by the way, if I was in the house, every time I'm in the diary room is gonna be the rant room. I just would complain. I'm complaining now. All I do is yap and bitch and moan. I'm in the diary room like, oh my god, blah 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 blah. But mostly it was about just the bathroom. The bathroom's a mess. The bathroom's disgusting. After you give 17 people 2 bathrooms, what do you expect? Obviously, the HOH bathroom is a nicer, more private one. The one stall they get downstairs is crazy. And they're like, it's nasty as hell, and it reeks, and it's a mess. I mean, their whole house is disgusting. They're a mess. They're a messy group. I think they already had ants. I think that Team Ants already was started. But if you look in their episodes, sometimes they're talking, you're like, or on the feed, you're like, whoo, crazy. Like, remember the one part with Morgan was like, why is this lock has been on the floor for like a week? Also, why is there a lemon in the bathroom? Like, it's a mess. Do something. Damn. But yeah, it's mostly just trying to think about how messy and nasty the bathroom is. Though Kelly does take a moment to complain about Ashley and her pimple patches. And I'm like, okay, Kelly, sure. Okay. And we also get a segment. We get a segment from Nicole Frenzel. Now, wine or wine? Wine the drink versus wine like whining. Because she's Nicole Frenzel. And all she does is whine. I'm not going to do my Frenzel voice. Do I have one? A very shitty one, yeah. I don't like Nicole Frenzel. I'm sorry. When I used to watch the show, I mean, I still watch it, obviously. But my sister used to watch it. I'm sorry, Nicole Frenzel. We had our boots on her neck. But we were also teenagers. Is she a good Big Brother player? Yes. Is she my favorite houseguest? No. That's all I want to say. Because it was just wine or wine with Nicole Frenzel. And she just was like, cheers to Rachel. She whined, like, whining to Ava. I was like, what? Ava's in, like, the best spot in the house. I don't know. I'm not dwelling on Nicole Frenzel. She did a segment. I don't care. Like I said, I'm not going into too much on BB Unlocked because it was fine. It was whatever. They also made Frenzel film at our house, on our couch. Sure. Whatever. Good for Frenzel. You know, live your life. How's ugly? I'm sure it's great. But yeah, not a ton. We did get the houseguest on top versus the houseguest on the bottom segment, where Taylor talked about the 3 houseguests she thinks on the top of the house. Derek has his bottom 3. Taylor had, I don't know if these lists were made by Taylor and Derek or if the production made it for them. I think it was probably themselves maybe. But Taylor had Ava number 1, Mickey number 2, Morgan number 3. And Derek Levasseur is annoyed that Ava is first. Ava is like, I said this about 9 in this video. Ava is in such a good spot. Everybody is so solid with Ava. Go watch the RHAP stock watch from this week. Ava got like an 8. Ava is like the best positioned person in the house right now. She is so solid, locked in, social game to the nines. Solid. Solid, 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 solid. No danger whatsoever. And Derek's like, Ava number one. And I'm like, Derek, shut up. You don't know. That tells me all I need to know. You're not tuning into the feeds because you don't know. He's probably like, who's Ava? That weirdo? He don't know nothing. Anyways, Derek's bottom people are Keanu, Riley, and Ashley. I guess. I think I would have put Kelly on there. Keanu is number 1, Riley number 2, Ashley number 3. So, unfortunately, I think I would have swapped Riley with Ashley. Not with Ashley, with Kelly. Because, like, Riley's not doing much, but people also aren't looking at Riley. He's not really in any danger. He's just kind of there. Kelly is in danger. Partially because she keeps putting herself in danger by volunteering to go on the block. But she is not the most, beloved house guest. I mean, Riley is not either. But Riley has, I think, irritated less people than Kelly. Though Riley's starting to eke his way up there. And obviously Ashley, queen of foot in her mouth. So there's not much beyond that, besides we get a little breaking news segment with a final 2 between Ashley and Rachel, which is the best news of my life. Hallelujah. The angels have sung. And they show us, a teaser for the HOH comp, but we're going to get into that in like 5 seconds, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then a vote. So they want us to vote, to like cast a vote for who you think has the worst fashion sense, and they're going to goo them. What the fuck do you mean? I had to get to that quick because I was going to laugh. Whoever, you go online, go to our website, and cast your vote. And whoever gets the most votes for the worst fashion sense is getting gooed. What do you mean? What? How? When? What are they gonna set up a Nickelodeon like slime booth in the backyard and slime them? Or they'd be like, all right, get in the booth, you're getting slimed. I voted for Riley. I don't care. I didn't care what the question was. Like, getting gooed? Riley. Done. Next. If you watch the feature, then why I don't like Riley. He's a bit of a weirdo. But yeah, the vote is so relevant. Who cares? Who cares? And it's not even like, it would have been more interesting if it was like, vote for your least favorite house guest. And if, I'm assuming when they goo whoever the hell wins this poll, they're gonna tell them what it was. They're not gonna be like, we have randomly selected you to be gooed. They're probably gonna be like, America said your fashion sucks, so you're getting gooed. I think it would have been a lot funnier if it was like, pick your least favorite house guests, and then it'd be like, I'm the least favorite, and it'd be like, it'd have been fun. Though it probably would have been like psychological warfare, but it's fine. It's Big Brother. But yeah, not a lot of unlocked. Just some segments, a lot of clips. We get a couple new things, but not a ton. At least they're doing, they're trying. And Taylor Hale said they're open to, improvement and feedback. So, hopefully it will be on the up and up as it goes on this year. But yeah, let's actually move on to episode 9, beginning of week 3. We're picking up where we left off with episode 7. With Amy, Amy going to Thor. And Jimmy, if you can believe it, Jimmy is not happy that Amy called him a snake on the way out. So he's a little pissed. He's pissed. He's like, you know what? Nobody probably even heard her anyways. Sure. And people, he's pissed. Most people are still pretty upset. Rachel is very upset. Rachel's taking this really hard. She's very, very emotional. Because Amy was like her best friend in the house. So Rachel is like, doesn't know what to do with herself. She's like, not only was like, that's her bestie, but that was like probably her closest ally, in a sense. So she's like, now I have nothing. Pretty much. I have like no pull in this house, no say, nothing. Because even though she's kind of connecting with Jimmy, she's not. I don't think Jimmy definitely says I don't think it sees her as his number one, and I don't think she sees Jimmy as her number one either. So she's like, I don't have shit right now. I'm working with nothing, and she's very upset. And Adrian and Keanu are in the storage room. Keanu's like, we did it! Yay! All three of us made it off safe because all three of Jimmy's original nominees not only are still here, but they didn't even face the vote. They all saved themselves. And Adrian's like, yeah, woo! And Adrian's in his diary room. Like, this is really great, Keanu. Please do not associate with me. I do not want to be hitched to you. Stop it. Do not associate yourself with me, please. He's like, do not put me in with you. I'm begging you. Which is really funny. But yeah, a lot of mixed emotions happening in the house. We do get, again, as shown in Unlocked, the segment of Ava and Rachel's final two forming. And they are starting to see it as an actual final two. You sometimes feel like final two is no, like, yeah, final two. And they're not really locking in that. But Rachel does seem to strongly be considering, like, actually, I could take Ava to final two and probably beat her. Though, honestly, I don't know. Ava's social game is so good. But then again, this is literally the night of the end of week 2, beginning of week 3. So there's so much game to be played. Anything could change between now and the finale. It's like, that's in like 2 months. Oh my god. I just realized there's like 2 months still of this. It feels like we've been in here for 9 years. So 2 whole months. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's still very, very early. And speaking of alliances, oh boy, triple threat. Not so solid anymore, because Mickey and Morgan are so pissed. They're so mad Amy's gone. They are so mad that Jimmy put her on the block. They are not happy that Adrian's still here. They're like, I can't believe this. What a dumbass. And Jimmy comes in like, hey guys, yeah, it's a rough week. And they're just like, what's bad when you walk into a room and your two allies are like huddled and whispering, and then you walk over and they kind of do this? If your allies are whispering to themselves and disperse when you come over, that's not good. And I think he's like, I don't think they're happy with me. You don't think they're happy with you? What gave that away? How'd you figure that one out, Sherlock? You didn't pick that up the week this has been happening? Where you been? Where have you been this entire week? They have not been happy with you since you started considering Amy Will. But, what do I know? I'm not the HOH. He was. So, his way or the highway. How'd that go? How did that go for you, Jimmy? Only time will tell, but I don't think it's going very well for you. But yeah. Good luck, Jimmy. You're gonna need it. From there, though, we move on to the HOH competition, which is the there's booth comps. It's the question and answer, true or false competition. Now they're going out to the booths. Kelly says, we go out to the backyard, I see booths. I don't really know what that means, but I'm excited. How do you not know what the booths are? They do the booths all the time. It's like every trivia question, HH is in the booths. You don't know what the booths. Come on. They've been doing the boosts for decades. But okay. Who knows what the boosts are? Sure. Crazy ass Kelly, I'm telling you. How do you know what the boosts are? They did both. I know she only watched 1 or 2 seasons. They did the booths last year. But okay, she's never seen a booth in her life. Sure. So they gather up, they get in their little booths. It's the HOH competition. It's Twin Witness News. It's a video memory comp. They do these all the time. They play a video, you have to listen, remember everything from the video, and then they ask you questions, you answer true or false to the statement, or they tell you a statement, you answer true or false. Pretty simple. I mentioned earlier they were bringing a lot of alumni back when I was talking about Casey coming back. Do they bring some alumni back for this competition? Yes. Now, is it the Nolan twins? Yes. They showed this teaser in the BB Unlocked episode of the Nolan twins, and I was like, why would they bring back the Nolan twins? I'm not gonna say why. I'm surprised. I'm not giving the reason why. If you know, you know, and if you know, I'm very sorry that you have to know this information. I will not say it out loud for my own mental sanity. I also would not advise looking it up. Just live in bliss if you don't know. But the Nolan twins are back for this video. I believe it's a little riff-off parody of the viral video of the Australian twins talking about the robbery. I don't remember what... Actually, was it a robbery? Was it a robbery? I don't remember. The crime that they witnessed. I'm assuming that's why the acting we have to sit through in these videos is awful. I don't know if I'm hoping it was on purpose, because Liz and Julia are giving us absolutely nothing. And this is the video. If you didn't watch this, congratulations. If you did, you know it was like this. And then we heard a big boom. And so we went into the house and we found our dad on the floor. Whole video is that. Mind you, I think Liz is the only one who knows the lines. Julie, is it Liz? Julia? I don't remember. Whichever twin is on the right, I think that was Julia. I don't recall. Doesn't even know half the lines. Keeps stopping and looking at the other twin to remember what the rest of the lines are. Okay. Sure. Great comp. They played a very long video. And they start going to the true or false questions. Now these people, I don't know if they're just not good with memory, if they were also very zoned out by the twins. First of all, by the way, nobody acknowledged that was the Nolan twins. Not one person gave a shit. If they did, they cut it. Nobody cared. Nobody was like, oh my god, listen, Julia from BB17. I didn't even mention that. They're from BB17 if you didn't know. Nobody mentioned it. Nobody cared. These people, question 1, 6 of them are out. 6. I'm trying to do quick math. 14 people playing, right? Yeah, 14 people. I had to count. Sorry. 6 out in the first question. What are we doing? Come on. Really? 6 of you out in the first question? Fine. Next question. Only one person's out. Ava. I didn't write down everybody in the big groups that went out because it's fine. It doesn't really matter. They all went out like in big chunks. Yeah, with 6 of them out, the next question, only Ava got wrong. And the next question, 5 of them get it wrong. It was almost 6, but at the last second, Mickey's like, you know what? I have a feeling this is wrong. So she changes her answer. Everybody had true. She switches last second to false. So she's still in. And one person, Lauren. Everybody else out. So 6 were out. Just Ava was out. 5 people were out. Now in 4 questions we are down to just Lauren and Mickey. Now, CBS hates us. And I know they were banking on more people making this comp through, making it, oh my god. Making it through this comp more. So they probably filmed, I don't even know how many videos would listen, Julia, but we had to sit through a second video for just Lauren and Mickey to watch. And they only made it one question. Yes. One of them answered true, one of them answered false. And they're like, oh boy, we're about to find out who wins right here. I'm like, great, I'm so glad we had to sit through a second video for that. Of impeccable acting from the Nolan twins. But, thankfully, they ended their suffering quickly. And we get a new HOH. Lauren! Now, the reaction of Lauren is kind of mixed. Some people, excited. Lauren's very happy. Some people, Catherine's pretty happy. Zach's pretty happy. Some people are like, who the hell is Lauren? It's kind of giving when Jen Johnson won HOH on BB-8 and nobody was cheering and except for Jen Johnson, who's like, woo! And everybody else is just like, what? Obviously not to that extreme level, but there's definitely people who were like, oh, okay. Because Lauren has been just not doing, she's just been kind of there in the middle. She's not really had much solid stuff going on besides like a final two with Vince and her thing with Zach and her friendship with Catherine. Like she's had more friendships than I think game connections and relationships. So a lot of people are kind of like, oh, okay. Not as bad as Jen Johnson reaction, the very obvious confusion from everybody in the house, but definitely a little bit of confusion here and there from people. Now, Lauren's diary rooms. If you know how this week has turned out with the feed, if you've been watching the feeds at all this week, her diary rooms, I was sitting there like, oh boy, these have not aged well. But she is very excited talking about how, she's been kind of going with the house this week and for the past weeks, and now she's excited she can make her own stamp in the game and forge her own pass. They're like, okay, Lauren, I can't wait to see how this goes, Lauren. That's so nice. You're gonna not follow what other people say and make your own moves? Okay. Oh my god. If you watch the feeds, nothing could be more wrong. A polar opposite to what she said. Could not be more different. But yeah, there is some concern in the house with Lauren and HOH about Catherine. As we know, a lot of people aren't the highest on Catherine. Not everybody's like, a lot of people don't love Catherine. The concern is that Catherine is going to be in Lauren's ear influencing her, because Lauren, she's young, she's 22. They're like, she's very kind and sweet and nice, and she's so young, she's very impressionable. But words by Vince, she's very impressionable. So there's a lot of concern that she's going to get swayed by Catherine. Vince is like, yeah, let me make sure she knows that people are concerned about being impressionable, but I also have to make sure that I am the one making the impression on her. And they don't show this. I don't even know where to begin with the feeds this week, discussing how this played out in the feed versus the episode, because it was hours. Vince and Lauren have a secret final two. But when Lauren went HOH, she spends about it was supposed to 2 hours talking with Vince in the bunk bed room, the back room, with multiple people coming in and out. It's very obvious that they're having a 2-hour long conversation, that she was like, Vince, I want to talk to you right now. So it's not really, I don't think their game relationship is super secret. I don't know if people know they have a final two, but it's pretty obvious that they're working together, I would say. I mean, the house consensus pretty much, even before people start talking with Lauren, is that they want Keanu out. Keanu, being Keanu, they're like, over, everybody's over it. They've been over it for a while. So, like, Keanu's gotta go. Round 3, bring it back. So, Jimmy's talking as well, like, yeah, definitely Keanu. She's definitely thinking Kelly as well. And Jimmy's like, how about Adrian? So, your nominees from last week. Same nominees as last week is what he's pitching. And I'm like, sir, it didn't work last week. Why would it work this week? Okay. Lauren definitely is agreeing with him in terms of Keanu and Kelly. Vince is also in the conversation as well. Definitely pretty solid on putting Keanu up. Fine with, we'll see with Kelly. She's like, yeah, Kelly, maybe. They're pretty easy noms. They've been up a lot. People aren't the most. Nobody's riding or dying for Kelly or Keanu. And I guess Adrian could go up again. They're like, he just came off 5 minutes ago, literally. We don't really want to put him back up again. That might be kind of mean. And they bring a segment up here for the first time. They're gonna keep doing it this episode, so I'm just gonna lay it down here and now and not repeat myself 95 times this video. They keep pushing in the edit. Yay or nay? Will Mickey use her HOH interrogator power to overtake Lauren's HOH? The answer is no. She's not doing it, no matter how many times they make it come up in the episode, no matter how many times they make Mickey say in the diary room, I don't know. She's not using it. I don't think she ever even considered using it. I don't think she was worried at all at first about Lauren. I don't think that was a thought. I don't think before Nom she was like, yeah, definitely I should use my power. So it's not a concern. I'm not going to bring it up beyond this because they mentioned it several times in the episode, and I'm like, we don't need to keep going over this. It's not a possibility at all. At all. Now, we do get a segment as well with Rachel, who is already having a rough night losing Amy, and now she's having even more of a rough night because she is concerned about her gameplay. She, if you watched her past seasons, she didn't have an easy ride. She pretty much was constantly on the fight for her life. For her, it was win comps, do or die. And now she's like, she hasn't won anything at this point, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I didn't win any comp. I haven't won comps at all. I have no power. I have nothing. She's just like, I don't know what to do with my game without winning comps. And she's like, this is so weird. She's like, it's such a different experience for her from what she's used to. And she even says herself, she's like, what do I do? In the other room, she's like, do I need to go say fuck it and go back to how I was and bring out old Rachel and just go insane and not play the more low-key game I've been playing? Is that how I get farther? She said, because I'm not winning anything. I'm not anything. I have no sway in this house. I have nothing. I'm just kind of here. The only thing she really has is like, she has like some like personal relationships. She doesn't really have many gameplay connections minus this final two she's made with Ava. She has something with Jimmy, but even that's not super solid. And Ashley as well. But Rachel's like, what the hell? But she's Rachel Riley. I think she can persevere. And honestly, it's still early. It's only week 3. I know she's concerned about comps, but I think it's honestly it might be good for her she's not winning comps. I think that might lower her threat level. Though I don't know how many of these people have actually watched her seasons and know that she was a bit of a comp beast. Plus she's done, the Amazing Race 3 times. She's done the trade. Like, she's done a lot of competitions in her day. It may not be so bad to not win comps, but obviously having the power is going to be important for Rachel as the weeks go on, as the numbers start to dwindle. She's definitely going to be a bigger and bigger threat, and I do think she definitely needs to get some power sooner rather than later. But it's fine. She's fine. As always, this is our Big Brother, the show we love so dearly. We get our little filler segments here and there as well. You know, Rachel's doing yoga with everybody. Uh, Vince doesn't know that pies mean pizzas. It's like, whatever. Cool. They're filler segments. They always throw them in. It's even not even like a 6 minute. We don't need them. I get like we get to know people better that way, but we don't always need them. Though I will say this episode with Lauren's HOH, there wasn't a lot going on, honestly. And we do start to get into Lauren's one-on-ones. Now, Lauren, if you watched her one-on-ones, you will know about her fun little habit where she's sitting with everybody in her HOH room talking about any like the game, possible nominees, safety. People are sitting next to her facing her. And what is she? And they're like, "Oh, what are you thinking?" Da, da, da. And Lauren's like, so, what do I? Lauren will not look at anybody, will not make eye contact with anybody. She will only stare at the HOH security cam, the camera feed on the TV. Even Keanu was like, "What are we looking at?" Mind you, the footage on the kitchen, she's on the kitchen screen, empty. Nobody is in there. It's totally empty. She's looking at an empty dining room table. And Keanu's like, "What the hell are we looking at?" And Lauren's like, "Oh, nothing." But she just will not look at them. She does it with Keanu. She does it with Ashley. I think she does it with everybody. She just will not look at them. I think because Lauren is very afraid this week of pissing people off, of making people upset with her, of causing damage to her game, and I think she's scared of looking people in the eye and talking to them about this. I don't know if maybe she's not good with confrontation, she's not good with the game talk, she's not used to it, she hasn't really had a ton of game talk over the past 2 weeks, and she was really laying low and kind of like riding along in the middle, not much going on for her. And now she went from that to HOH is a big jump from doing nothing to having the most power in the house. So she's taking this a little rockier. She is very, very scared of things going wrong, of making people upset, of paying a target on her back quickly. So yeah, all of her one-on-ones are kind of interesting. She won't look at anybody, stares at the screen. She talks to people. Keanu. Pitching Rachel. You think Lauren is gonna put up Rachel? Crazy. I don't care what the edit makes you think of Lauren being like, that's a good idea. No. Lauren won't even look people in the eye. You think Lauren, who is a super fan, has watched since she was like 9 years old, is gonna put up Rachel Riley? You're out of your goddamn mind. Week 3, she's gonna put up Rachel Riley? You're crazy. I wouldn't even put up Rachel Riley week 3. I would be afraid to put Rachel Riley up week 3. That's scary. She's Rachel Riley. I know people have heard declocked and they're not gonna. Everybody's against Rachel Riley at this point, but it's still, that's scary. That's scary to me. He also pitches Ashley, which is fine. Which is like, okay. Ashley pitches Kelly and Keanu, the obvious choices. Mickey comes in as well during Ashley's and Lauren's Ashley and Lauren's one-on-ones. They have many over the week. I'm saying week as if it's been like 9 years. This is from Friday to today's Tuesday. Just between Friday, Saturday, Sunday alone, they had so many one-on-ones with Lauren and Ashley. They talked a lot. Ashley kept coming back. But yeah, Mickey comes in to talk with Lauren as well while Ashley's in there, and Mickey says something so egregious. I don't know if she means it. I don't know if she's just trying to like pull one over with Lauren. But I wrote it down. I didn't write it word for word, but I wrote it pretty well. She said, "If I was in your shoes, Lauren, what would make the most sense for me would be to honor the previous HOH's nominees because they didn't go through. What? That's the most insane thing I have ever heard, Big Brother. That's so ridiculous. Honor the previous week's HOH's nominees. Are you kidding me? I couldn't give a shit. Unless, like, the person last week was, like, my final two, ride or die, forever. What? Honor the... She's not even working with Jimmy. Why the hell would she honor Jimmy's nominees? What is this house? What are we doing? What is this house? I am so baffled. That blew my mind. She said that. I was like, what are you on about? Honor last week's nominees. I don't know. I really don't know if Mickey meant that from her heart and soul. I really hope not, because there is no way on earth that I would ever think that. I'm assuming maybe it's because she's like, it's Lauren. Lauren's not gonna want to rock the boat. Even when they were house, a lot of people were gathered up early talking about, like, you know, putting up Keanu or trying to get Lauren to put up Keanu. Zach was like, it's Lauren. She's not gonna rock the boat. She's not gonna do, you know, something crazy. She's just gonna try to keep it simple and easy. So maybe that's why she said that, to get her to just put up, like, the same shit as last week. But I'm like, if that was me, I'd be like, no. I wouldn't get, who cares who the HOH, I wouldn't get, honor the last HOH's nominee. No. They're not HOH anymore. He had his chance. He fucked up. Maybe he should have put up better nominees. Maybe if he put up an actual target and didn't play scared. But unfortunately, the theme of the HOHs this week seems to be playing scared. I don't know. I'm just so baffled by that. It's like, I feel like the meme of Christy from BB21 where she's just like speaking in gibberish. It's really how I feel. Like hearing, that's how I feel. I just, like, it makes no sense. It's like my brain spins thinking about that. Like, I can't even begin. That's just so baffling. It's just like the most insane sentence I've ever heard, and like in my life. I'm just like, honor the previous week's nominees, because I didn't go through. Maybe Jimmy should have put up better nominees if Jimmy really wanted them to go through. Sucks to suck. I'm sorry, dude. Move on. It's too bad. You had your chance and you blew it. Good luck getting the jury. In fact, that's what I would be like in my head. I wouldn't say that out loud to Mickey or Ashley, but I'd be like, oh, yeah. Man, there's just these people. These people are crazy. If you watch, you know. Now, Lauren goes to talk to Kelly. Kelly. Kelly, once again, puts herself up. She said, if you want, you could just put me up. And Lauren's like, oh, really? Kelly's like, oh, yay, I can go on the block again, and maybe I can win more confidence on my resume. That's not good gameplay. That's so bad. That's not how Big Brother works. You're talking about resumes. Like, it's not like she's winning power with, like, HOHs and making noms and getting on threads. That's building a resume. Even, like, being forcefully nominated and winning like vetoes and comps to win and take it down is better. Putting yourself on the block, volunteering to go up to win comps, take yourself down, is not building a resume. That's being a dumbass. That is stupidity. That's tomfoolery. That is nowhere even close to building a resume. That's just looking like an idiot. I'd be like, dumbass Kelly, I'm not gonna go to the final two with Kelly. It's not gonna be final two, and Kelly's up there, and I'm gonna be like, Kelly did win a lot of comps. She did volunteer to go on the block every week, but she did win 9 vetoes. No, that's not impressive. That's like, you're an idiot. Why would you put yourself in that much danger every week? Because she's trying to be Tucker 2.0, and it's not working. Tucker didn't even nominate himself. Didn't even volunteer to go up that much. So why are you? It's because like she has no care for this game. It drives me nuts. I feel like she doesn't care. She's like, whatever. I'm gonna hear for my shitty graphic design. I'm here to be an influencer. I'm here to be crazy. I don't care about Big Brother. And you can tell because she just doesn't. She just keeps throwing herself on the block. Week after week after week after week. And she just thinks she can win a comp and get save herself. That's not guaranteed. If she was on the block last week, she would have gone home. Hell, if she was on the block at the end of the week, the first week she was cooked. Like, she is playing with fire, and it's so stupid. And then they keep nominating her because she is so lucky that she's not lucky. She's stupid. The fact that she's getting people who are playing scared as HOHs, that's the only reason why she's still going up. Because if I was HOH, I'm like, I'm not putting Kelly up. Kelly does nothing for me as nominee. She's going to take herself down and I'm going to put a replacement nominee. And she's going to keep volunteering and she's going to be a pain in my ass. I'm not doing it. I'd be like, get a grip. Do some actual gameplay. Make an alliance. Volunteering to go up on the block 9 times is not a Big Brother game-winning strategy. That's just being stupid. She's trying to be Tucker, but Tucker also left pre-jury, so that's not a game to formulate. Don't be the 6th pre-juror trying to follow somebody's winning moves. It's just... These people are stressing me out. I can't believe it's only week 3. We still have 2 more months of this. 2 more months. But we get Lauren and Adrian now, after the Kelly mess. And, Adrian's also pitching he's pitching Keanu and Kelly and Rachel. Why are these the only names that people can come up with? Keanu, Kelly, Rachel, Ashley. Anybody else? Any other names? Will, Adrian? Okay. Look how many people are in this house. Not, like, the way most of the people have not touched the block is crazy. Literally, only I wobbled my home screen. I apologize. Literally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have touched the block out of all these people. And they're just going to keep putting the same people up because they're scared. What on earth are the rest of the people in this house then? You have to put other people up. You can't just keep putting the same people up week after week after week. It's not a good move. It's not building your resume. You want to be known as a person who made big moves and took out a big threat. And you're like, damn, she did that. I know she's probably going to put up Zach because Zach is obsessed with her. But and her, I guess Vince's her father. But damn, she's not working with Mickey or Morgan. You could have put up one of them. I don't think she's really close with that. I don't know if she's working really with them that much. You could have put up Jimmy. You could have put up Riley. Hell, put up Rachel. Even if you want to put up Keanu. You could have did Keanu, Jimmy, Riley. Done. When one comes down, then put up Kelly. Because Kelly is annoying. And Kelly can go. But damn, put up somebody different. But she talked with Adrian. They pitched the same nominees. And Lauren, at the end of the conversation, is like, I kind of wanted him to volunteer, and he didn't. Because he has common sense. Why would he volunteer? These people are nuts. You can't... just expect people to volunteer to go on the block. If you, that's just ridiculous, 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 ridiculous. And I know Lauren is afraid. She's terrified. She's shaking her boots. She literally was crying in her HH room about having to do this. And she's like, why did I win this? I don't know, girl. I don't know. She does go talk to Will. Because she was kind of starting to be like, maybe Will. Pretty easy nominee. Now, they don't show this in the episode. But by the time she goes and talks to Will, he's already been told that he's, by other people, that he's probably going up. So she walks up to him and he's like, I know. And he doesn't really put up much of a fight, which is kind of annoying. I wish he had kind of put up something like, Lauren, this is a really bad idea. He's kind of like, yeah, you know, it's how it is, and now it is. He's mad as hell in the entire room. He's pissed. He is like so not happy. He's like, how about you put up Vince? How about you put up Jimmy or Rachel? What about Zach? He won 10 grand. And I'm like, did you say this to Lauren at all? Or did you go, oh, I know. I was told, yeah, I mean, Pitch it, throw it. Like, if you think you're going up, throw anything at the wall and see what sticks. Anything. Throw what you got. He could have told her about the stupid Burger Boys alliance. Maybe that would have changed her opinion about Vince, her final two. She would have been like, and Zach, she would have been like, you have an alliance without me. What happened to the final two? Anything. I mean, obviously, once you're on the block, it's a little more precarious about just throwing out names, because then there's going to be like, she's desperate, you're desperate and trying to save yourself. But before you actually go up, like, try your damnedest to not go up. Pitch yourself. Throw other people under. Run the bus over somebody. Back it up. Forward. Back forward. Do anything you can to save your game. But no. Why would we do that? That'd make too much sense. Which is why, when we get to our nominee ceremony, who's shocked? Not me. Keanu, Kelly, Will. She doesn't even say reasons for them. She just said, I love you all. This felt like the best decision for me going forward. She didn't even say, I nominated you, Kelly, because of this. I nominated you, Keanu, because of this. Will, because of this. She didn't even give individual reasons. She just kind of said like I love you all. Good luck with the veto. This felt like the best decision. Tomfoolery. Week moves from this. This house is just ridiculous. They are playing so scared. I am praying our next HOH actually is somebody who wants to make a move. Like, oh my god, if Rachel Riley wins, I know she is not gonna be like, should I put up the same people again? I will actually be mad if that happened. I just want somebody who's not afraid to put up real threats. Like, I get Keanu and Kelly are easy, and I do agree that Keanu should be up. He clearly doesn't want to work with other people. He's delusional. He thinks he's in a great position and is running the place when he's in La La Land in the bottom of the pit. That's fine. I get, like, yeah, put him up, because he's irritating and he needs to go. Stop putting Kelly up. She's not doing anything for you. She's just taking up a space because she thinks it's really cool. And she's bored. No. Will is just, we don't need a Pawn Star. We don't need a Block Star. We don't need a Pawn Star. Leave him alone. Put up somebody, like, I think, this is a hot take. I think pawns are stupid. I think you should not put somebody up on the block if you're not comfortable with seeing them leave. Which is why when people put up allies and stuff, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, put up, your nominee should be plan A, plan B, and I guess plan C since they have 3. Like, you should have your main target and your other backup targets. It's not like, oh, somebody who I don't want to go home and on, I will be very sad if they leave. Then why are you putting them up? Yeah, yeah. You should not be making nominees crying, stressed out, terrified, anxious, a mess. No, that means your nominees are not good and you're not solid about them, and you need to figure something out. And don't win HOH if you're going to be scared out of your mind about having to actually make a move, because that's the whole point of HOH, is having the power in your hands to do whatever the hell you want with nominees and get out threats to your game. Get out people who are people you cannot work with, people you cannot manipulate to go your way, to vote with you, to work with you. Like, it's not this hard. And Big Brother is hard, but it's not this hard where you are like shaking in your boots to put up anybody. Like, I know Mickey was not planning on taking this week over. Part of me wishes she just damn had. I think Lauren probably would have cried from happiness. I think even if, I don't even know if, so word on the street is getting around. People are starting to suspect Mickey has a power. They don't know what it is, but people are starting to be suspicious. I don't recall if Lauren was one of them, but honest to God, I think even if Lauren knew it was Mickey that took over her HOH, I think she would have just let her. I think she would have been like, just take it. Just take it. I don't want it. I want to go back. I want to go back to the middle. I want to go. No. I think, honest to God, that might have just been better for Lauren. I don't think this week puts her in a bad position. It's not putting her in a good. Again, it's just like, it's so hard because Lauren is once again not building any structure for herself. In fact, she's outing her alliances. Everybody, I think, is trying to look at her and Vince as a duo because she spent hours talking to him and kept consulting with him after, like, she would do one-on-ones and got to go talk to Vince. One-on-ones for a bit, talk to Vince. Like, it's very, very obvious how closely their games are tied together. And it's not doing her any favors when she doesn't have any really strong allies to begin with. So I just wish somebody would give me a structure. Make an alliance that you actually really, truly trust and are locked in with. Do something. Will that happen the rest of this week? If you watch the feeds, you know the answer to that. But right now, this is where we're at. At the end of episode 9, these are our nominees. This is our HOH. This is where we are. And it's kind of crazy. And it's kind of ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. And I'm agitated and stressed out and annoyed. And I just wish people weren't so afraid. I get it. It's Big Brother. Especially because Laura's a super fan. She might be afraid, to mess this up and, like, be out soon. I would be scared, honestly, a little bit of messing things up. But you have to realize, like, you can't win Big Brother by being scared. You can't get to the end of the game and be like, this is what I did. I got out Will and Amy. And I was scared and I didn't take the big swings I should have taken and that's why she gave me $750,000 because I was scared. No, that's not going to win you anything. I would rather be on Big Brother and know that I actually made moves, and at least tried to get big people out. At least I took swings to make an impact on my game and the house and not just get out the easy people. I'd rather know, like, even if I lost Big Brother, and I was like, at least I did something. At least I took the big swing, and I wasn't afraid. I would think I would be very regretful if I was on Big Brother and I played scared. I didn't make any moves, and I just kind of sat back and hid away and just didn't go for it. Like, it's Big Brother. I know it's hard when you're in the house. It's so all-consuming. But at the end of the day, it's a game. It's a game and you're here to win a lot of money. So you gotta go for it. You just gotta go for it. And don't play anybody else's game, just play your own. Do what's best for you, not what's best for your best buddy or your final two or whoever. There's a great line. I don't know if it's gonna be in any of the episodes coming up. I don't know when exactly, if they're gonna show it, I don't know. But Rachel is talking to Lauren, and she says to Lauren, Lauren, you are so beautiful and smart. You're so young. You're 22. Do not play this game and listening to a man in his 30s unemployed. And I'm like, period. Exactly. Thank you, Rach Riley. You're on Big Brother. Do not waste your opportunity on Big Brother playing somebody else's game. Play your game. Go big or go home. Fuck it. Go big and go home, honestly, because most people are going to lose. Like, at least just try. If you can try and do something big, I'm not saying, like, splashy. Like, you don't need to have, like, this is my big TV. Like, you don't need to be like Jimmy. Jimmy trying to constantly have his big TV moment. But, like, at least go out there and put some effort in to at least try and make a big move. Get out threats to your game, even if you're scared to do it. It's such a fine balance of, like, playing too hard too fast and just playing so chicken shit that you're just not gonna earn any respect from other people at the end of the day. Like, if people can't look back at your game and say you did something good, when you're sitting in those final two chairs, you're not gonna win. If they look back at you and you're like, this schmucko, how'd she get dragged all the way over here? You're cooked. You're screwed. Unless you bring very stupid people with you to the end. I don't know. But it's so early as well. It's week 3. I get it. It's I have a lot of feelings on this, obviously. But I think I've yapped enough. Oh my god, this video is so long. But yeah, that's how we're wrapping up the beginning of week 3. Honestly, let me know what you think in the comments about Lauren's HOH at this point, or even further on if you want to discuss what's going on with the feeds as well. We are so in the trenches with the strategy this season. But yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts on Lauren's nominees. Do you think she should have put up Keanu, Kelly, and Will? Who do you think she really should have put up if you disagree? Do you think she is setting herself up well for this HOH? Do you think she's totally cooked? How much do you think Vince is controlling her game, yay or nay? I don't know. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think about the season, about Lauren's HOH, these nominees, and how you think this is going to shake out, because I am a little nervous. I think Lauren might be in a better spot than Jimmy. Because Jimmy, at least Lauren hasn't really pissed off her allies. Jimmy screwed his relationship with his allies. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's still so early and nobody's really making big moves. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's all I've got to say for now. Let me know your comments. Like, subscribe. Having a ball. We'll be back for the rest of week 3 with our veto comp and our live vote and eviction coming up. Woo! And with that, I have to go. Right. Bon voyage, people. See you next time.